Right now on Up with KREM, time is winding down for state workers to get their COVID-19 vaccine. This morning, why some people are applying for an exemption could still lose their jobs. And healthcare unions are saying the demands of COVID-19 are bringing nurses and other healthcare workers to their breaking point.
We want to help you. We want to make you feel better. And we don't have enough people to do that right now.
How their community is trying to make sure the nurses feel appreciated.
And of course, we're going to take you outside. We've got a little bit of cloud cover now, but a big change is in the works across the region. We're talking rain and a lot of it.
Up with KREM begins now.
Washington State now has a new way to help you show your vaccination status. The website irmobile.com allows you to upload your vaccine card digitally. This way you'll always have proof of your vaccine, even if your card gets damaged or lost. This morning we're talking more about what you need to know as vaccination deadlines get closer. Well, good morning and thanks so much for joining us on Up with KREM on this Wednesday morning. Now, while COVID-19 vaccines are a huge topic of conversation right now, our local health experts are also concerned about other immunizations. Nicole Hernandez joins us live now to break down why we're seeing less and less children getting their standard immunizations. Good morning, Nicole.
Yeah, good morning, Channing. So putting the COVID vaccine aside for a minute, the Washington State Department of Health is worried about children getting their general immunizations right now. That's shots for viruses like measles, mumps, and polio. So I want to break down what the Department of Health put out information-wise about vaccines, general immunizations for children. So this graph here is showing immunizations per vaccine here. This map here is showing by county how many people are getting their general immunizations, but this graph down here is the one we want to actually focus on for this morning. So this graph here shows immunizations over time. You can see this line here is very flat, very steady. This graph is showing number of immunizations over the course of the past 5 years, specifically for babies and toddlers. So for that 9 months old to 35 months old range. You can see in 2015, the same amount of people were getting their babies and toddlers their general immunizations as in 2020. That's a good thing. That's what the Department of Health likes to see. But if we look at the next graph here, we can see this line looks a little bit different. Pretty solid and steady from 2015 to 2019. But when we hit the point of seeing where the pandemic started, you see this slight decline in general immunizations. This graph here is specifically for 11 and 12-year-olds, for adolescents. So why are we seeing this correlation between general immunizations and COVID-19? Well, I asked the Department of Health that question.
I think it's actually people not going to the doctor is really what a lot about it. Especially we recognize that last spring when the state shut down, it was really confusing. Like, when should I be going out? What routine medical care should I be seeking? And
now we do have the answers to those questions. It is safe to have your regular as scheduled checkups with your doctor. That's especially important for kids who need their immunizations. The Department of Health says that they're making sure that their kids are up to date on their shots, and they will make sure to keep everyone healthy and our schools running smoothly. The good news is we saw the number of kids getting their shots dip to its absolute lowest in mid-2020. The Department of Health says that number has been slowly going up, but we still have some things to do and work to do to get back to that average. In studio, I'm Nicole Hernandez.
Now, when it comes to the COVID vaccine in Washington, roughly 7% of Washington State's government workers have requested medical or religious exemptions to the state's vaccine mandate. That's according to data gathered so far by the state's Office of Financial Management. Not everyone who applies for an exemption will be given one, though, and time is winding down for the roughly 60,000 employees to get the vaccine or lose their jobs. Right now, the only option is to get the Johnson & Johnson shot before October 4th because it takes 2 weeks to be fully vaccinated. If you are granted an exemption, you can still be fired if accommodations cannot be made. Now, all across the state, hospitals are dealing with staffing shortages and an increase in patients. Healthcare unions say the demands of COVID-19 are bringing nurses and other healthcare workers to their breaking point. Many are walking away from the job. One ICU nurse at a hospital in Western Washington says they're doing everything they can to treat people.
Our staffing crisis has been a problem before COVID, and then it's just compounded with COVID. We're always busy. We want to help you. We want to make you feel better. And we don't have enough people to do that right now.
The mayor is raising money to give healthcare workers gift cards as a form of appreciation, but the workers themselves say now is the time for real action. All right, 7:34 now. Let's get a look at the forecast, Jeremy, as folks are heading out to work, maybe heading to school. What do we need to do to prepare for the day? Will we need a light jacket, maybe a sweater?
Today, you might get away with something lighter in nature. Tomorrow, it's going to be a chilly start to the day. So for now, well, I guess you can kind of enjoy it. We've got wind picking up across the region, but because of early morning wind, somewhat mild temps. So we stay in the mid 50s from Spokane to Coeur d'Alene, even into Sandpoint. Upper 50s in Moses Lake and mid 50s there in Wenatchee. As we move through the day, the wind does pick up, and we're talking wind gusts up near 25 miles per hour. Ooh, it's a bit breezy as we head through the next 12 to 16 hours. And then wind will eventually start to calm down overnight. But that wind calming coincides with some cooler temperatures early tomorrow. We've got some clouds that developed. Those are going to move through. That's on the bottom side of that trough that moved into parts of British Columbia. So for us, we see a little cloud cover and temperatures staying a bit cooler today. We top out near 70 degrees later on this afternoon. And that comes with a whole lot of wind. And as wind calms, skies clear, things cool down. Early tomorrow morning, we have a freeze watch in place, and that's for temperatures in the low 30s in the blue shaded areas. I'll walk you through those coming up in just a bit.
It's time now for your morning rush. More news in less time. We're starting things off with an update to the story on the Pocatello Funeral Home. The Idaho Board of Morticians has revoked the license of Downward Funeral Home. It was under investigation after a dozen decomposing bodies and dozens of fetuses were found there last month. The owner was also issued a civil penalty in order to pay almost $5,000 in costs related to the investigation. Following a years-long study, Washington State University says it found zero evidence of systematic bias when it comes to traffic stops made by the Washington State Patrol. The university's Division of Governmental Studies and Services recently completed what it calls an exhaustive study of traffic stops from January 1st of 2015 until the last day of 2019. The group says it looked at enforcement decisions, searches, citations, and arrest rates. The complete study is expected to be released to the public later this month. Well, some good news for a star from the Inland Northwest. Former Spokane Chief and NHL star Tyler Johnson's jersey is going to be hung up in the rafters at the Spokane Arena. They'll be retiring Johnson's number 9 on February 4th of next year. Johnson brought the Stanley Cup back to Spokane in July after winning for the second year in a row with the Tampa Bay Lightning. He has since been traded to the Chicago Blackhawks. And more good sports news because baseball fans are in luck. The 2023 Major League Baseball All-Star Game is expected to take place at T-Mobile Park in Seattle. That's according to a report from the Associated Press. The official announcement is expected to come out on Thursday afternoon. Now, next year's All-Star Game will be held at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles on July 19th. That's your Morning Rush. More news in less time. Let us know what's happening in your neighborhood by using the hashtag #UpWithKREM on social media. Monoclonal antibody treatments will start in North Idaho today. How you can get the treatment if you are COVID positive.
And coming up after the break, we're taking you outside and talking rain returning to the Inland Northwest. I'm going to let you know why we might double our summer rainfall in just a matter of days.